Hey guys, this is Nathan and welcome back to SevTech Ages. So I have been continuing to wander around the Twilight Forest. I've been marking out tons and tons of different landmarks. I have explored a fair distance. So up here is the Lich Tower that we were at in the last episode, the Hedge Maze, the Hollow Hills and all of that. I have found a labyrinth, a mushroom palace, couple of Lich Towers. Now I found this thing, and I have no idea what this is. It's got... Oh, Naga Stone. Okay, so this is the Naga Arena. So this is one that we definitely need to take care of. Now, we did get the Naga scale from somewhere, and so we've already got the advancement, but... yeah, I think we ought to just break in here. Oh, there it is. So, oh, no, yeah. Sit, dog, sit. Yep, 2 of them, 3 of them dead. Oh, God. Get over here, please. Get over here. Come over here, doggies. Hurry. Okay, you guys sit. Thank you. Oh! Jeez, that thing can leave the maze. Okay. I did not realize that. So, I think my dogs are going to be dead. Yep. And if I'm not careful, I'm going to be dead. So, if I remember right, an easy way to deal with this thing is to pillar up in the air. But the problem here is I don't have blocks on my bar. What on earth? These are breaking. That's messed up. Okay, so then what we do is we grab our bow and we just sit here and take pot shots at the guy. And I think we have to hit him in the head. Come on, where is your head? In a wall. Well, darn it. Well, he can't get to me anymore, but it doesn't look like I can get to him. So, yeah, I'm going to sit here and try to poke at him for a while. Well, it's getting kind of boring trying to poke at it. So, yeah. We have apparently good enough armor and health to just deal with this guy. And not to mention the fact he's destroying his arena. And we got zombies. Do you move faster when you're, smaller? It would appear so. Oh, come on, just die. There we go. Killed it. Okay, well, we have no inventory space now. It's kind of interesting how some of these blocks look. But, let's see here. Materials. Get some of these blocks up and out of here. And we'll just drop a whole bunch. Now, I found a couple of deposits of, white wolf pelts. Found a couple of deposits of, crystals, too, which is kind of nice. So we have the Naga trophy now. I want to pick up a whole bunch of these blocks that got broken here. But yeah, I'm going to continue wandering around, see if I can find anything else around. So, oh, wandering one. Awesome. So, yep, I will be back in a little while. What a glorious sight. So, we're back in the overworld. I managed to get all the stuff back to the base, and we are really running into some issues with storage. And I think we're going to be looking at that in a little bit. But right now, I am up on a dirt pole in the air because we have another issue. No food. So, yeah, I've been eating the stuff from the beneath, or not the beneath, the between lands, and I don't want to be wasting that food because it works really good for the between lands. So instead, I've started setting up some large farms down below me here, and we already had the cotton farm. I put a wall around it. This is cobblestone walls, and birch fences on top. Makes it look kind of nice. And then I have made this little teardrop shaped piece is carrots. This one is potatoes. So we still need some wheat, because what we're going to be getting for food, finally, is the Hearty Stew. So the Hearty Stew requires flour, carrots, potatoes, and meat. Cooked or raw, it doesn't matter. And then we also need mushrooms, which we have our little mushroom growing area. But so we still need to get the wheat farm, and what I'm going to do for that, because we need wheat for that, as well as our oven-ready apple pie, which we are going to want to have that, and then we also need it for animal breeding. So the wheat farm is going to be huge in comparison to all of these others. So I'm going to take this wall, extend it all the way down here to the path. We're going to go slightly at an angle as we go. Follow the path along for a while until we get up here basically to the roofed forest, and then follow along the edge of the roofed forest up into this area, and then curve back to the wall for the cotton. So that is actually going to be about 3 times as big as both of these farms put together. Then the space right here, I'm also going to set this area up for the hemp, and I'll see what else we have available for farming, and we'll go from there. But now, I was doing a little talking with Wandering One. We were looking around. We saw a few other things from this update that will be nice for gameplay, for aesthetics, you know, a couple of things. But so the first one deals with the Totemic totem poles, and I didn't want to go that deep. So the Totemic totem poles always looked like a little small log. Well, now they actually look like a totem pole, and they look like the item that they are. So that is really awesome. The only thing that I don't like about that is they always face north. So we have checked that quite extensively, but they always face north. Now another thing, if we get up here closer to the base where we have some of the totemic torches. So these acted like a fence post before, and we couldn't walk over them or through them or anything. Now we can walk right through them just like a regular torch. That is very nice and very helpful, and I really appreciate that one. And it seems like there was a couple other things that we noticed. I guess one thing that we wanted, or at least I wanted to check out, was if the leads are going to continue breaking like they had been before. So I tied up my horse, and it looks like it's still tied up, so that's good. I'll kind of keep an eye on that and just see what happens. I got some wolves over here. But yeah, I am going to work on laying out that massive wheat farm, and possibly a few more farms so that we can get some better food, and then I'll be back. So I know there was a couple other things that I needed to talk about from the update, and one of them is in our cauldron we can now use wolf heads to make glue. Now wolf heads in the cauldron will give us a piece of glue and a piece of flaked bone. So I am getting some flaked bones. I put all of the pelts that I had in here, so we're getting a lot of glue. We're going to need that for paper for the next thing that I have to show you from the update, and that is the wooden lanterns. So we looked at these, I think, about 3 or 4 episodes ago, and now that we have the update, they actually will attach to the side of a block. They don't need a solid block underneath them. We can also put them on top of fence posts, and to turn them on, we need a flint and steel. So I did make one of those, and it's just a standard vanilla recipe of an iron and a flint. But what we can do is we can right click on these and it will snuff the fire inside, and if we right click them with a flint and steel, it will light them. Now it does take durability out of the flint and steel, but they look amazing. So I am going to be trying to get more of those made and placing them around, and yeah, that is just totally awesome. So yep, back to making the farms. So I think we're ready to actually make some of this hearty stew. So I've been cooking up some carrots and potatoes because we need these in this, and then we're going to need tons of meat. Now I am not sure which meats we can use in this, but we're going to need a bunch of them. And we actually have a bunch of cooked mushroom omelets. I had totally forgotten that I made those. But so we need to come over here, and we have a little bit of glue in here, but we need to drop in some mushrooms, some meat, the bowls, the potatoes and the carrots, and what are we still missing? Flour. We need flour. Okay, so in this purple backpack we have Foodstuffs. So let's just drop in some flour. I am not entirely sure how much we need in there, but I know we can use wheat flour or barley flour. And still, no, we are still missing something. What are we still missing? Yeah, bowls, carrots, mushrooms, baked potato, flour. I don't know, do we have to add water? It's definitely not working. Maybe we do have to add water. I don't know. Let's try that real quick since it's raining anyway. And yeah, I left the water running. Whoops. Okay, well, let's grab one of these guys. We'll just grab a little water out of there. Can we put water in this thing? Doesn't look like it. I don't think we need that in there anyway. So apparently these meats won't work. So let's try putting in some cooked pork chops, maybe. Cooked mystery meat is definitely not an option. Okay, so we have flour. We have barley flour, we have bowls, we have potatoes, we have carrots, we have some meat. Oh, those are wolf. I swear, I know English. Let's try some chicken, some steak, some cooked salmon. Who knows? There might be very specific meats that we have to use for this. Now I know that a lot of the raw ones will work, but let's try putting in this. Okay, yes, so that will do it. So a lot of these meats are not going to work. Maybe we just need vanilla meats? Mutton, beef, steak, pork chop. Oh, even chicken won't work. Okay, so we'll take out the chicken. So, yes, very specific meats that we need. So let's just drop all of these others back off in here. Can't use fish. We can't use pretty much anything. So over here we have, can't use chicken. We have mutton. We have pork chops. Venison's not going to do us any good. I think that's about it. So we are going to be very limited on how much of this we can make, but we will be able to make a bunch of it. So that should make at least several stacks. We'll run out of bowls long before we run out of anything else. So let's go ahead and drop the rest of those mushrooms in there. Why not? And yeah, so we have that stuff now. Currently I am not hungry, but yeah, you can see my hearts are halfway down, and that is because we're already down on grain and protein. Now our vegetable and fruit is doing good because I've been eating the wild berries and the baked beets. So yeah, and oh, okay, so it changes height based on how full it is. We should get 5 more of those in just a second. So come on, more food, please. There we go. Alright, so I'm gonna let that do its thing, and then what I'm going to do next is get ready for the apple pie. So this is the next thing. We need oven-ready apple pie. For this, we need flour, sugar, apples, and raw eggs. Now, we have tons and tons of eggs, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw these at an enclosed space with a hopper above it, because invariably we're going to get chickens out of this thing, and I don't want them everywhere. So I'm going to set that up, get as many of these as I can, and it doesn't look like I have any hoppers in here, so that's a bit of a problem. So I'll have to locate some hoppers and set that up, and yeah, get this all going, and we'll have some apple pie ready to go here too. Well, we should be ready to make these oven-ready apple pies now. So I've got a whole bunch of raw eggs, some flour, some sugar, some apples, and here we go. 64 at a time. And then what we need to do is cook these. So if we look at the uses on this, we can run them through the oven, we can use a stoked kiln, or we can use a stone grill. So yep, we are going to be putting a stack and a half into both of these, and those will do their thing. And I probably should set up some automation for charcoal insertion into these, but I think for now that'll work. But so now we should be getting some apple pies. So these give us 4 fruit with 4 hunger and 2.5 saturation. The Hearty Stew gives us 3.5 grain, protein, and vegetable with 5 haunches and 6 saturation. So there is our food. Now, of course, if we go to the Between Lands, we're going to have to use the sap jello for our fruit, and we need to get an apple orchard set up somewhere. But real quickly, I want to show you guys what I've got over here where the farms are now. So we have a quite large area of farmland. So of course we have the potatoes here. We have the carrots over here. Then we have our cotton. And then there's this huge area over here that still needs a lot of work. I'm going to be subdividing this, but we have a large area of wheat over here. And of course, the brightness level does affect how much the stuff grows. And what I may do is get some Ferdinand's lights and put them in grass or in dirt blocks. Put them along the path. That'll increase the light level, but it still will be a decent look. But yeah, we've got this all going. I've also thought about putting some of those Ferdinand's lights underneath a water source and putting lily pads on top, like is the common thing to do in a vanilla map. But yeah, we've got food, and we've got a lot of it. So we still have tons of stuff here waiting to go with the cauldron. So whenever we eat some of this hearty stew, we can immediately put the bowls into the cauldron, and we will get more stew out of it once there's enough of them. And also I've reset up my fishers to get more bowls. Now I could craft those, of course. It just takes a work blade and a plank, but yeah, we get plenty of them. So I did save a few eggs just in case we need them. I bundled up all of our feathers, and I put the chickens that I was getting from breaking it up here in the top of the blacksmith for now. And yeah, there's a lot of these guys. We have a lot of raw eggs still to go around, and we may figure out something later on a place to put the chickens. Right now that seems like a good place. Keeps the noise level down a little. But so next up, we finally need to take a look at getting some storage areas. So this area right here that forms in the middle of this open area, I think is going to be a great place for a warehouse. It is kind of centrally located based on all of the things that I want to be doing. You know, I've got the mill over here, the blacksmith. Our house is still going to be there, even though we are going to be finally replacing the skeleton here soon. We've got the farms off in that direction. We've got astral sorcery over there. We've got blood magic and abyssal craft over that direction. And I want to do some more farming down in this area where we'll have animal production. And so this seems like a fairly good centralized location that we can use to pretty much have our storage without having to go too far to get items. So I want to build a massive warehouse here. Basically going to go right as close to this little stream as I can. We're going to go all the way up here to this, and I might even have a little bit of a connection across the pathway here, which that pathway is also going to get updated to these chiseled cobblestone. So I have a lot of work. I still haven't quite decided on what this is going to look like. Of course, we're going to follow a very similar style to this and this. And yeah, I need to get to that, so let me get something figured out. So I think this is starting to come along. We can kind of see I've changed the color pattern just a little bit and slightly modified the design for this building. So one thing that I have done is to make a dual corner with the logs on the lowest level, and that kind of makes it to where we have this little section here that is, not as far out as the rest of the building. Find that kind of interesting. See what it looks like when all the logs start coming together. But that also meant that I had to use a piece of planks here, because as far as I can tell, I can't make the all bark logs. So yeah, not real thrilled about that. But one thing that I very rapidly noticed as I started building this thing is it was going to need major terraforming in the area. So I have started kind of clearing the dirt back here a little bit, and started going around this side and ran into a major issue, which is the stream. So the stream was almost right up against the edge of this thing, so I am going to have to redirect this just a little to come more this way, and we might have to put like some stone retaining areas or something to force it, make it look like it is being forced into that position. Now, one thing that I've also thought about doing here is to make these the aqueducts instead of the dirt that is underneath here, because then we can actually have flowing water through the entire thing without source blocks. So that would be a possibility. I may have to look at that. But so I am using bone blocks up here. Makes a very nice contrast to the dark oak logs that I'm using for the support pillars, and then the dark oak planks that are making a lot of the other pieces in the lower area. I also used, once again, the ornate steel glass. I hear a wolf growling at me, but I used the ornate steel glass again. I have andesite behind with cobblestone walls up front, and I have these Ferdinand's flowers lights in here. But one thing that I have noticed is they are a little bit too bright for all of the surrounding blocks, so I don't know if I want to use those. Now the top is fine, so if we go ahead, let's make a couple of the stone brick versions. And now if we put one of these here, no, it still looks brighter. So yeah, it just, they don't quite have the right illumination on them. They're just too bright. But yeah, I guess that's something we'll have to deal with. On the inside here, we can see it very, very pronounced, And also I put a bunch of the cobblestone versions out in the farm fences, and they show up big time too. So, yeah, I don't know. But so I needed more glass here, so I did a little something here that, yeah, I thought it was a good idea at the time, and it still seems like one. So I used a little bit of these casting channels to connect 4 casting basins all together. Now all of these have hoppers underneath them dumping into this one chest. I also increased the height of the smelter by 1 block, and so we have enough smelting capacity to keep up with 1 drain flowing constantly. with these casting channels here, there is always a path for the molten material to go to. So if we open up this tap here, we see that it first fills that one, then it's going to fill this one, then it'll fill that one. And if this one has not solidified yet, then it will overflow into the last one, which you can see there's not much in there. But yeah, with 4 blocks smelting, the smeltery can keep up precisely with the amount of time that is needed for one faucet to just keep dumping constantly. So what I can do here is set in a whole bunch of sand, which we're down to less than 1 stack left there. But I can put a whole bunch of sand in there, open up the faucet, and just walk away, and we get tons and tons of glass waiting for us when we come back. So I've never looked into these faucets very much, and yeah, I'm glad that I did. Now, another thing that I did was to set up a faucet over here with a channel going into the lava tank, and so I can just quickly pour a little bit of lava here, and it will refill this tank. The little bit of lava that is in here will go in as it's needed, and yeah, then we can actually empty all of our tanks, and we'll be able to go fill those again later. Now, one thing, as I was digging the dirt here, I did see some lava through the ground here. And I do remember at one time I found a small cave in this area, and while I was digging around trying to find the mobs that I was hearing, I did find a lava pool. So I might have to look into trying to find that again so that I can refill all of those tanks. But we have our glass. I'll finish filling out all of these windows and build around the top floor. Now for the roof on this one, we have thatch up here. We have the mud brick tiles over here. So I want to do something a little different. And so we are going to be using cork shingles. So if we look at those, it's terracotta shingles. Let's just go terracotta. So the terracotta shingles from cork, these can be made into stairs. So we're going to make those. I've already smelted up, I think, 6 stacks of clay blocks into terracotta, and I'm thinking to just use the unstained ones. But I'll look at that and see if I want to actually use a different color, because I believe once these guys are made into stairs, yeah, we cannot change their color. There's no use for the actual stairs after that. So I want to make sure that I have the color that's going to go good with this particular design. And yeah, I'm going to get the rest of this built, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. So as I started figuring out this portion here, it just did not work. The windows were too close to each other and I couldn't put my shutters on. So I think what I'm going to do instead is we're going to have a shorter area to the building here, and I'm going to use some half slabs for the roof. Now what I've decided is I'm going to use red rock bricks. So I wasted a whole bunch of clay blocks making the shingles before I realized that I could use these. So I am going to be using the red rock for the roof, and I haven't decided. We have a border on this building and on the one behind the mill that, you know, we have cobblestone on this one, we have stone bricks on this one. So I kind of want to mix it up a little, make sure that I have something slightly different on this building. But yeah, I don't know for sure what I want to do for the border yet. But I'm going to remove this wall, extend this one all the way down, and we won't have any windows where the roof comes up, I don't think. But yeah, that was a waste of glass, a waste of tool durability, clay, a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, I goofed up. Alright, I'm going to keep working. See you guys in a little bit. So I've got the exterior of the warehouse done, and I needed to breed some cows, so I just dug a little 2x2 3D hole, put some water in it, and pushed some cows into it, and I've been breeding them. Well, underneath this, I have one source block in the corner, so the water is flowing to this corner. I've got a hopper there running over here, and the reason for that is that as the number of cows in here increases, the old ones will die. And so this hopper collects their drops. So I've been doing that so that I could make more of our Hearty Stew because I ran out of Minecraft meats. So yep, that is definitely a thing. So yep, got the exterior done. Did a lot of work trying to figure out how to get these walls to work and roofs and everything like that. So I had to bump this in, which was kind of a pain. But yeah, everything seems to be working out okay now. I really like the way that the roof turned out. I've tried something totally different than what I usually do with a slightly angled in roof as it gets over here to this edge. So it gives the building a definite distinctive look that I haven't seen before in my builds at least. But now I need to do the interior and start getting all of my chests moved in there, getting them organized. I still need to put the stairs going up to the upper floor. But that's going to have to be for another episode because I'm out of time for today. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts about what I've been working on or anything that you would like to see, be sure to leave that down in the comments. And I will see you next time. Bye!